Hello, back again on the Top Recap channel. This time I will tell a movie's entitled Sweet Girl. Let's get straight into the storyline. The film begins by showing the atmosphere in the state of Pennsylvania, United States. In a forest, a small family is seen on holiday at the edge of a small forest that they often visit to relieve boredom. There is a family patriarch named Ray Cooper, his wife, Amanda Cooper, and their teenage daughter, Rachel Cooper. After years of family happiness that was almost never tinged with sadness, everything suddenly changed. Their happiness was shattered when Amanda was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer. In fact, the doctor, who was also Amanda's best friend, said that the chances of Amanda surviving were very small, especially in recovering from the cancer. This condition certainly made Ray and Rachel very sad. However, they still try to be strong because one of the treatments that can make Amanda survive is to keep her smiling and happy. Finally, a glimmer of hope appeared when the doctor brought good news about a cancer drug that had just been released by a pharmaceutical company called Bioprime. The doctor said that the drug was 100% suitable for curing Amanda's cancer.
I love you. To tell Mom.
However, after a few days passed without any news about the drug, Ray went back to see the doctor. How disappointed Ray was when the doctor could only clarify with an apology. Apparently, the license to sell the drug called Sparrow had been revoked by the CEO of Bioprime Pharmaceuticals himself.
Ray, you told me that my wife was gonna be okay. I am so sorry.
In the midst of his confusion, Ray no longer knew what to do. At that moment, he accidentally saw a television news program featuring Bioprime's CEO, Simon Keeley, and a senatorial candidate named Diana Morgan. In an interactive show that engaged viewers through phone lines, Ray immediately made a call to the studio. In a fit of rage, Ray threatened Keeley. He said that if Keeley did not retract his decision to revoke the license to sell the drug, then Keeley would be held responsible if anything happened to Amanda.
Well, Ray, Prime is dedicated to saving lives.
You've already taken everything from me. If my wife dies, it's your death sentence.
Hours later, after the news show was over, Ray and Rachel, who was with Amanda, felt their world stop spinning when they realized that Amanda had passed away forever in Rachel's arms. As the head of the family, Ray felt very sad and disappointed with himself. All the efforts he had made for Amanda's recovery were still unable to save his wife's life. Day after day passed until 6 months after Amanda's death. During that time, Ray, a professional wrestling athlete by profession, was unable to escape the shackles of sorrow. Tears of regret mixed with anger always adorned his days, turning him into a moody figure who was easily angered. One day, Ray was contacted by a journalist who was very enthusiastic about the news of Amanda's death. However, because this information was private and confidential, they agreed to discuss it directly by meeting face to face. Ray then prepared to go to the agreed place while asking Rachel to stay at home.
Lock the door behind me. I love you.
However, unbeknownst to Ray, Rachel secretly follows her father. She was curious and wanted to know what her father was hiding.
Yeah, I'm here. Where are you? Get on the incoming train.
A few minutes later, Ray finally met the journalist in the train carriage. There, the journalist explained that Bioprime had pulled the drug from the market because certain interested parties had bribed the pharmaceutical company. The journalist then asks Ray for help uncovering this scandal, which has certainly disgraced the medical world. But in the middle of their conversation, they didn't realize when an unknown man appeared and immediately stabbed the journalist with a knife.
I'm sinking to his knees.
Hey! Baby, are you okay?
Time passed until 2 years later after the incident. There was Rachel, who was naturally blessed with martial arts from her father. During training sessions, she always seemed emotional, even taking out her emotions on her training opponents. She didn't realize that what she had just done almost caused her training partner to be injured and hurt.
That's it, open him up. He's tapping, Rachel. Rachel, he's tapping. Rachel!
Meanwhile, on the television news program, the face of Keely, who is the CEO of Bioprime, was shown again with an interviewee named Vinod Shah. This time, the two of them will work together to create a solution or idea to restore Bioprime's function. However, Bioprime is currently under the shadow of Diana Morgan, who uses it as a political propaganda tool. Meanwhile, Ray seems to have secretly targeted Keely. He plans to infiltrate a charity auction event held by Diana with representatives from the United Nations.
I need to try.
In the middle of the event, Ray was seen disguised as a waiter who entertained the invited guests. Finally, after Keely finished giving a short speech, as planned, Ray managed to wet Keely's suit by pretending to accidentally spill a drink.
What the fuck?
This little incident naturally made Keely go to the toilet to clean his suit. All went according to plan. Keely, walking towards the toilet with his two bodyguards of course, did not realize that Ray had prepared everything to trap them.
What the fuck?
You were warned.
I didn't kill anyone, you psycho fuck. Cancer did.
It must have been Vinod Shah. Okay?
After finishing them off, he rushed home. He told Rachel to pack up immediately, claiming that their position was not safe.
People are gonna come after us, aren't they?
I had no choice. He had a gun. But we need to go. Please go pack our stuff.
Meanwhile, at the scene, two detectives named Sarah and John are interrogating one of the survivors. They finally got a bright spot about the perpetrator. Previously known, the perpetrator had threatened to hunt down Keely.
They said they'd come for Mr. Keely if anything happened to the woman.
Thank you.
Check on all death threats Keely may have gotten in the past.
You got it.
Based on this motive, the FBI finally found a relevant digital trail. All valid and accurate data leads to a perpetrator named Ray Cooper.
My wife dies. It's your death sentence. I will hunt you down and kill you with my bare hands.
At the same time, Ray and Rachel were seen driving away from home. They stopped at a motel. However, Ray had no idea that there were already two armed men assigned to finish him off. Being a threat-sensitive man, Ray didn't let his guard down, even though he knew they were safe from the police. He then set up makeshift rattles in anticipation of someone suddenly entering. Sure enough, shortly after Ray set up the rattles, two men who already knew their room number slowly approached the room. When one of the men entered the room with the rattles on the door, Ray heard the sound and immediately woke Rachel up to secure her first. Once Rachel was safe, Ray started the fight. Meanwhile, elsewhere, detectives Sarah and John are seen visiting Ray's house for investigative reasons. They are trying to find out if Ray is the culprit behind the attack on Keely. Their suspicions are finally proven correct because they find Keely's photo plastered on the wall. Without any further debate, they establish Ray as the sole perpetrator behind the attack. On the other hand, as time goes by, Rachel begins to realize that her father's actions have gone too far. She asked her father to stop the revenge mission because, of course, it was impossible and would jeopardize their safety. However, Ray did not respond to Rachel's request. The actions of Keely and all those involved in taking his wife's life made Ray feel that he had to resolve his hurt for the sake of justice. While Ray was preparing traps and equipment, Rachel took the opportunity to secretly contact Detective Sarah to tell her a little about her family's past.
My dad, he sparred with guys who could take a punch. She's tough.
Like you.
After hearing the story, Sarah asked her to work together to help the police. Rachel was considered the only person in control and could launch the police mission in Ray's arrest.
I don't know what he's gonna do.
Listen to me. You are in control. In control. You are Rachel Cooper. Say your name.
Rachel Cooper.
That's it.
In the end, Ray is forced to bring Rachel to take revenge. After stopping at a location right in front of the building, it was learnt that Ray's target this time was Vinod Shah. However, at that very moment, Ray just realized that he had a new person who seemed to be eyeing the same target. As soon as he saw Vinod and his entourage exiting the building, Ray quickly made his way to the entrance of the bridge that he had set a trap for. So far, his plan has worked as expected. Vinod was completely lured by the trap.
Something's wrong. Get us out of here.
Go! Go!
There, Ray sees that there really is someone else hunting Vinod Shah. Ray doesn't know who that person is or what his goal is. What is certain is that Ray needs to get the information he needs from Vinod as soon as possible before something happens to make him lose it. Unfortunately, just as Ray is about to force Vinod to talk, Vinod is suddenly shot by another man who is also after him.
We're gonna be looking for a little girl and lost both of them.
That man is Santos. Santos is a hitman who had previously killed a journalist, an event that forced Ray to deal with him again. Afterward, Ray continues his journey in a stolen tow truck. On the way, he accidentally sees Santos's car parked at a restaurant. Ray decides to stop and meet him. When Ray talks to Santos, he initially thinks that Santos's job is done after killing Vinod. However, Ray is shocked when Santos tells him that he has been paid to take out anyone he thinks is bothering his boss. This meant that Ray was sure to be Santos's next target. As a hitman, Santos doesn't mind waiting until Ray is actually going to be his target. However, Ray eventually realizes that the person paying Santos is Diana Morgan.
You tell me who hired you. We both know I'm gonna go after them.
You're a dilettante in my world. Diana Morgan. See you in Pittsburgh. Rachel? I'll see you soon.
The next morning, the police found Ray's stolen tow truck traveling toward the city. Later that evening, the FBI mobilized a special team to stop Ray's move to fight for justice.
The chopper! It's on us!
All right, hold on, baby.
Oh, shit!
All units be advised, suspect is armed and dangerous, armed and dangerous. Suspect on foot. I repeat, suspect on foot.
With a crowd of baseball supporters, Ray tried to take advantage of the crowd to continue to evade the officers chasing him. He even scaled the roof of the stadium, hoping for a miracle in the midst of his escape.
I got eyes on! Copy!
Finally, when Ray was really cornered, came Sarah, who seemed to already know who Ray really was. Ray himself also seemed to understand what Sarah's words meant.
It's me. I'm here to help. We've been talking. Remember?
Was this supposed to be like this?
In the end, a very surprising fact was revealed. The person who has been talking to Sarah is not Ray, but Rachel, who has been traumatized since her parents died.
Not him.
Rachel feels that she is Ray, her father, who is actually dead. Rachel had vowed to demand justice for the death of her parents. After realizing her actions, Rachel, who, of course, still hadn't accepted reality, finally decided to end her life by jumping from the top of the stadium. However, after waking up and realizing she had survived this reckless act, Rachel slowly got up. She tried to escape from the FBI officers. The next day, a political campaign event is seen. Diana is very enthusiastic about delivering her sweet promises to the public. Meanwhile, Rachel is seen secretly in the crowd, followed by the appearance of Santos, who is very confident that his target is already inside.
Great state of Pennsylvania.
Silently, Rachel continues to target Diana until she manages to get inside her secretary's office. Without a weapon, Rachel really relies on her courage. When Rachel wears the jacket left by her father, Rachel again feels the aura of her father's presence. When Rachel managed to enter a room, it turned out that Diana was still in another room with her success team. Rachel then decided to remain silent and wait. However, who would have thought that while waiting, Rachel did not realize the arrival of Santos, who suddenly attacked her. Santos's sudden appearance made Rachel jump out of the room and hide between the building constructions. Rachel, who was cornered because she was suffocating in the water, made Santos think that Rachel was dead. However, a whisper from her father suddenly awakened her, and Rachel was able to turn the situation around.
Oh, sweet girl.
After successfully finishing off Santos, Rachel went straight to Diana. Diana was surprised to see Rachel enter her room. Loudly and forcefully, Rachel pressed the senatorial candidate and threatened her to confess her dirty deeds.
Stop calling me that. You're a liar. You killed my dad. Tell me the truth.
Finally, Diana admits that she is the cause of the problems behind the bioprime scandal, which turns out to be related to politics, including bribery, murder orders, and many other crimes. Unfortunately, Diana unconsciously revealed all her actions proudly. Apparently, during that time, Rachel had recorded Diana's entire confession.
I took the bribe. I ordered the hit. The candidate with the most money wins. That's how it works.
On the other hand, while the media and the FBI were busy discussing Rachel's daring escape, Rachel herself was getting ready to leave the country. However, before leaving, she sent Diana's voice recording file to Sarah.
Bribe. I ordered the hit. The candidate with the most money wins.
After receiving the recording, Sarah begins to investigate every possible crime that Diana has committed, with the aim of naming her as a suspect in a case that happened 2 years ago, a case in which both of Rachel's parents were victims. Having solved the root of the problem, Rachel was assured of a peaceful life. She feels relieved to have avenged the death of her parents. She hopes that this incident will never happen again to anyone else.